Hey y'all, in today's episode, Starnos, we're talking about Dogman. And just a fair warning, there are major spoilers we're going to be talking about today, so beware.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Star Notes. I am Ryan, I am the assistant video editor here, and your host, and today we're going to be talking about Dogman, which just released last week. What is your general thoughts on Dogman?
I would say, as a person not really familiar with the Captain Underpants franchise and that whole world, I thought it was a pretty decent movie. I thought it was cute. I thought it was pretty fun. I enjoyed it, so.
I feel like Dogman was very mid. I felt like there was a lot going on in the movie. I actually fell asleep while watching the movie. But I feel like it was a 1 out of 10.
A 1 out of 10.
Yes, I'm going to rate Dogman a 1 out of 10, Ryan.
That is the exact opposite of how I would rate it. I would rate it about 9.5 out of 10 because, honestly, it was one of the best movies this year I've seen, and I've only seen one. So, Dogman is a spin-off of the Captain Underpants universe, and basically, a dog and a man get crossed into a dogman, and they fight crime. That's basically it. I personally really like the message of the movie. I really liked it, personally. I didn't fall asleep at all during at any time.
So viewers, we're just going to remind you guys that it is only February. The best movie you've seen this year. And it's only February.
Well, I would say it's actually probably one of my top 15, I would say. Top 15 movies of all time.
Top 15 is
all
crazy.
That's
top
crazy.
15, yeah.
That is like...
It was really good. Like, I was going into this thinking it would be like, oh, Captain Underpants, like very geared towards kids. Very bleak storyline, not really much happening. All right, now looking at you.
Overall, I thought the movie was pretty good, though. Pete the Cat, the grandfather of Pete the Cat, played by Stephen Root, one of my favorite actors. He was in Barry, so that's why I liked him a lot. But other than that, I thought it was a pretty decent movie. I don't think it was like anywhere top 15 or top 10 of the year, but it's a pretty solid movie. Maybe it might win an Oscar for Best Animated Film of the Year, but we're still a long way to go for the films of 2025. But overall, it's pretty decent.
Yeah, the animation actually was kind of like the highlight of this, I would say. They really had fun with just the experiments and just experimenting with different animation styles and everything. Nia, you look like you want to say something.
No, I just don't agree.
You don't agree? Actually,
I like the animation, but it's still like...
Let's actually start with what you don't like about it, because I feel like we can kind of like use as a talking point. So what specifically about Dogman did you not like?
I felt like the storyline was everywhere. Honestly, I felt like halfway through the movie I got lost because it went on a whole nother storyline about a fish, and then they forgot about the fish for like 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden it's a totally different storyline. Like Dogman has a friend, and it was just too much for me.
Low key, I can't agree. It's a little bit too fast paced for my liking. I would have rated it higher if they let the story breathe and gave it more time to like let things figure out. But I think the part that saved it was how good the animation was, but also some of the jokes and the cutaway and like some of the little gags they had in the film. I thought they were pretty cute and nice. So
yeah, I would say, now that I remember what the turning point was when they started adding the sort of A and B plot, and they started like actually being efficient with their time. Because you gotta keep in mind, animated films, they usually never go beyond 1 hour and 30, just because of the budget and with the amount of like animation techniques and just sheer animation talent that went into this. I can understand it was only 1 hour and 30 minutes, but including the fish, what you're saying is not good. That was the B plot, actually. And including an A and B plot in an animated film such as this actually gives more of a depth to the world building and actually made it more interesting. And the fish was actually... They kind of mesh it together at the end really well. So it kind of gave reason to it. Also, the fish voice actor, I don't know who it is, but I know you said comedian.
I don't know the fish, but I know Stephen Root is the guy who played the grandpa.
Yeah. Whoever played the fish, really funny, though.
Ricky Gervais. It was Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, really funny. Really funny performance for sure. But having that A and B plot was kind of the turning point for me, and also just sort of like that whole ending sequence with like Petey kind of turning over a new leaf because of the Lil Petey, right? that was sort of the turning point for me. And also, they had a lot of more adult-oriented jokes
Yeah.
as well. I'm not gonna show specific reference to a certain one, but you could probably. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's basically what I thought of it. I thought it was really good. Just basically the whole theme was like kindness prevails above all else, and everyone has a glimmer of kindness in them, no matter how evil they are, except the
Yeah.
dad of Petey. Like
Yeah.
I don't know about that one. I don't know what was up with that one.
He's just a terrible person all around.
Wait, yeah, I don't know why they. I guess they included the grandpa because it's like kind of solidified Petey's kind of change.
And show a little bit off of his backstory, I guess.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
showing why
It's
the
an
way he
origin
is.
story.
Yeah, and it's like, would you say you like are sympathetic towards Petey in that sort of sense, based on what we've seen?
Sympathetic.
I would say
I'm
sympathetic.
more sympathetic towards Petey than the fish. If I'm being real.
The fish. Okay, the fish was like they kind of were sympathetic at the end towards the fish, just
Yeah.
to make him not kill Petey.
Honestly,
So-
that part kind of felt forced to me. The way they were a bit too sympathetic to the fish, but
Oh yeah, it was a bit cheesy. Like they could have
Yeah.
done it in
I
way better
agree.
ways.
I agree.
I do agree. That's why it's not a perfect 10 for me. It's a 9.5. All right, so I guess we'll talk about like a couple of the characters. Then I know we're talking about them a lot already.
okay.
Dogman.
Dog.
All right, what do we think about Dogman's character? His sort of like how he acts. I do want to talk about the fact that the girlfriend just ditched the guy immediately.
Can you blame her though? Yeah, can you
Oh
blame
yeah, I'm
her?
not saying I don't blame
mean-
her. I don't blame her.
I mean,
Yeah.
it would be cute to have. I don't know.
Me.
Yeah, it would be
personally-
cute. Not to date, but like just to keep around. That'd be cute.
Did you see all the dog food he was eating in the movie?
I mean, yeah.
Just
I can't. Yeah.
So is the guy dead, basically, effectively?
Probably. I mean, he has his body, but his mind is
His
just
Yeah,
gone.
no.
is gone. He just has a dog head now. So
As I was watching the movie, I was wondering like what necessarily was wrong with the guy's head. Like they never specifically stated like what happened. Did it just get? It didn't look like it got blown up.
seemed like he was still alive though.
Yeah, it seemed like he was still alive, but just nope, dead.
Yeah.
So another thing, I know it's gonna be a hot topic, but you know I'm gonna throw a picture up on screen. But why is Dogman's hands? If it was only the head that was replaced, why are the hands dog like it's dog colored?
Oh my god.
They
are
look like
not
paws.
They
look
look
like
like
paws.
paws.
They are not paws.
I'm saying they look like paws.
They look
I'm
like
saying
paws.
it's just like a little bit of a continuity thing because it would look weird if they have this Frankenstein-esque like dog man person.
literally.
Right. It literally looks like paws. There's fur on the hands.
I don't know. And it's not paws to me. I mean,
It's a hot debate. This is a big debate.
I don't think it's a debate because, like, literally, if you watch the movie, it says that they only need to replace his head, unless that's just some sort of animation error. I don't know, but
It's a
not
really
meant to
big
be.
animation error.
This
It's
whole
not meant to be
movie
paws.
is practically an animation error. So the hands, another one.
I don't know. They don't look like paws to me. They were obviously hands, but make your own mind up on that.
They were definitely paws. I am on team paws.
Paws.
Paws. All right, team haters.
Whatever y'all say.
All right. So, character-wise, character arc, do you think Dogman got enough screen time? Do you think he got enough of an arc to actually get us to fall in love with the character?
I mean, the movie was basically about him, so I
Yeah,
feel
but
like
it was,
yeah.
I feel like it was maybe the first half. But it was mainly about, I think this was mainly, the second
Yeah.
half was like about Petey.
It was about Petey
It was about Petey, really.
and Lil Petey.
And Lil Petey.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I got a good enough time because me, as a person who's not really familiar with the Captain Underpants cat or what's it called Dogman franchise.
Yeah.
I feel like I got enough from the movie to understand his character and where he's coming from. So I feel it's pretty sufficient enough for me.
Sufficient?
Sufficient enough for me. You know what I'm talking about.
I kind of feel like the Captain Underpants movies were executed a little bit better. I felt like this was kind of rushed. Like they was like we want to put a movie out and we want to put it out now. I kind of feel like the Captain Underpants had like
I didn't feel like that to me.
I don't know. I
They
just
really,
felt like
it felt like they put a lot of time into
because-
this. Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
mind the whole fish storyline could have been a whole separate movie.
Well, if the fish wasn't there, right, you got to keep in mind, then Petey wouldn't have a reason to change because he wouldn't have captured Lil Petey.
That would have been
Yeah.
fun.
Right, that was kind of the whole reason why they brought in the fish in the first place, I think, because it was like a way to actually just serve as like a catalyst for the ending. And I feel like having that A and B plot is a good way to efficiently like make the most out of an hour and 30 minutes because there's a lot of movies which who don't do that. You know?
I guess so, yeah.
It's like every podcast you want to talk about Wish. And Wish had its time to shine, and it did what it did, and Dogman didn't do what it needed to do. So,
I don't know. I'm still going to be talking about the failure of Wish. Actually, I should probably do an episode on that.
Well, I never seen it, so I got
won't.
no
Good.
stakes in that game.
Next thing we're going to talk about is, I guess, Petey the Cat.
Okay.
What do you think about that? Because that's Pete Davidson. That was kind of like the talk of the town.
yeah.
Pete
Yeah.
Davidson being the main antagonist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he had a good... I'd say he had a really good character
Yeah,
arc.
one of my favorite characters in the...
Yeah.
Even
in the movie.
though I don't like this movie as much, I kind of like the idea of Pete Davidson as the villain. He was a good villain. I just wish they would have gave him a love
Villain?
interest, but...
Love interest? Oh, no, we
Yes.
don't want to... No.
Yes, because if they would have gave him a love interest, we wouldn't need
Who would the
the
love
fish.
interest even be?
I don't know. Another
Dogman?
Shared custody of the little Petey.
No,
That's what I'm
wait,
saying.
I just said who do you think the dog... Like, that's going to be on the intro, by the way. Just say... who do you think the love interest be? You said Dogman? Bro.
I mean, the way little Petey was messing with Dogman, they could have
Well,
shared custody.
Exactly.
We sat there at the movie and was like, ooh, they sharing custody.
Mhm.
Oh, I do remember, Kahlil, you were in the theater at some point, and you were like, what was the thing you said?
It was something along the lines that Petey and Dogman should share custody of the... No, they should pay child support for each other.
See?
To take care of little
They
Petey.
could have been together.
Exactly.
Look, in this
How'd
day
they
and
even
age,
work?
a fish and a cat in an animated movie, I could see it.
A fish and a cat, you said?
Oh, a dog man and a cat,
Did you just say a fish and a cat?
either or.
That's also
both
good.
sworn enemies.
Is there any other main characters you want to talk about?
Stephen Root as Grandpa. This y'all may know nothing about this, but Stephen Root, I love him. He did an amazing job in Barry.
What's Stephen Root in, other than Barry? For viewers who don't know.
Let me Google that real quick.
If we're mentioning the grandpa, though, like, we got to talk about how the fact he was measuring stuff.
Oh, he
He
is?
was measuring stuff to take. He was measuring
He's that
everything.
scummy, huh?
In the
Okay.
scenes.
But yeah, apparently Stephen Root was in No Country for Old Men,
Ooh, King of the Hill.
Get Out. Yeah, I remember.
Get Out.
Yeah, I remember him in Get Out.
Who was he in
Get
Get
Out?
Out?
Jim Hudson. He was Jim Hudson.
He was the dad?
Oh, that's him.
yeah.
Hold
no,
up.
wait, is that the dad or the blind guy?
Oh, I love Stephen Root. I didn't know that's who he was.
What is he? Who is he?
I forgot who Jim Henson was, but I know he was a major character.
He's in a lot of stuff as a
I think he was the
white man.
blind guy.
Jim Hudson. Come on.
He
now.
was the grandpa. He was
No,
the
he
father.
He was the grandpa who was getting the surgery. He was about
Yeah,
to
he
get
was-
the
he was
surgery.
He
the
was the blind
surgery.
guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Stephen Root, amazing as always. You gonna get your Grammy. I believe in it.
All right, any other characters?
Did we talk about that fish guy who
The
Ricky
mayor.
Gervais.
The mayor.
The mayor,
All
actually
right,
the
let's
mayor.
talk about the mayor.
I recognize the mayor voice actor. What's his name?
Why was she so? I don't know. Her character was like, ugh. I mean, there's not much to talk about her. She was only there as like the greedy mayor who wants Petey the cat to be in cat jail. I did find cat jail funny, by the way.
Cat Jill,
That
yeah.
is funny,
Cat jail
but
is funny.
I feel like she was such a bad mayor because
obviously,
Dogman
that's
was
the point.
catching Pete the cat. Pete the cat was going actively in jail every time.
Exactly.
Dogman,
Yeah.
I'm gonna defend Dogman on this because he did put that man in jail. It's your brother's fault because your brother ain't got to go to jail.
That was
just
kind
a
of her
hater.
point, yeah.
She's just a hater.
And at the end, they pardon Petey because it's like, oh, like this. I'm definitely not saying this because of my election year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's just greedy.
Oh, Sarah Hadoff too.
Who's
yeah,
that?
we love Sarah Hadoff.
The girl,
Sarah
the
Hadoff
news
for
girl.
Live News Live.
Oh, the Sarah Hadoff. girl?
What do you mean? She was
I
a
like
major
the
part.
cameraman
The
was
chief?
fun. The cameraman was kind of fun. The chief was okay.
The cameraman didn't even do all that
The
much.
cameraman was kind of goofy. I don't know. This whole thing was just a goofy movie, really.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I don't know how you fell asleep during it.
I took a good 5-minute nap, like the best power nap I've had in a while. Not
I
gonna
just
lie.
really want to know. Yeah, I want to really know what about. Okay, let's get into plot now.
Okay.
I want to know first, just starting out, what made it that you wanted to fall asleep? Like, what point?
First of all, okay, so the movie starts great. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of enjoying this, and then after a while, I just start to drift, and I drifted.
What was the point where your mind started to drift?
It just felt like it was too much happening at one point, and I just got lost. So I was like, you know what? I don't understand what's happening. I'm falling asleep. It was like,
Was it the problem? It was too fast paced.
I feel like that could have been a thing.
They were trying to fit too much.
They didn't give
Yeah.
I feel like like you said, they could have let some of the plot breathe, and they don't. It's like they move from one thing to another, back to the other thing. And at that point, I'm just like, okay, well, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, what about you? What do you think? Was it too fast paced?
They
could have let it breathe a little bit. But can you elaborate on that?
Like I said, the only thing was a bit too fast paced. There was a kind of a lot going on. When I say let it breathe, the plot breathe. I mean like let more of a focus on the characters themselves. I say in a way like explain why they could have done a little bit more explaining why Petey is the way he is instead of just like showing his grandpa in a one-off little kind of thing, because he wasn't really a major character as grandpa.
I mean, I don't think we really needed to see more. We kind of saw everything we needed to with Petey and his father, right? Because you got to keep in mind the movie's called Dog Man, not Petey the cat. Right, so obviously the focus is going to be Dogman first, Petey second. But I feel like for a villain arc, right, they spent a lot of time on Petey. Might have been because of Pete Davidson's role. Also, the robot's name is ADHD. Right,
Yeah,
I thought that was a specific nod.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, specific nod to Pete Davidson. Yeah, I would say honestly, they did it really well. The A and B plot specifically was something I'd never really see in animated movies. So good job on DreamWorks on that. DreamWorks for me is like a household name in good storytelling.
Yeah.
Right after Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Pixar's better. That's all. That's neither here nor there.
All right, you're off the show.
Well, I think after Last Wish, we got the new Kung Fu Panda movie.
The new Kung Fu Panda movie.
It was really good.
Yeah, that was really good. But DreamWorks is just known for making really good story-based films. So if this was an hour and 45-minute long movie instead of an hour and 30, it probably would have been a little bit better. But just like in terms of what they did, I was engaged the entire way. Right.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I thought it was pretty decent.
It was really good. And also, we're going to talk about the Rotten Tomatoes right about now. Dogman got officially, because it was 88 back when we saw it in the theater, now it's at 78.
I think that's pretty. I'm okay with it. If you want to check out the Letterboxd reviews and some of them, but I think a 70 on Rotten Tomatoes, it's fair. It's not the best movie in the world.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it is not. There's still a lot to behold, right? I would still rank this as top 15 just because of the A and B plot, right? It just the way they mended it together was really, really good, and also the fact Petey the cat's whole story arc was done really well and done in a non-cliche way.
I would say top 15 in what?
Top 15 in my all-time movies.
Okay.
I would say.
If it's your all-time, I can understand that.
You know,
it's my all-time. I would say it's like 14. 13, 14.
Okay, now you're just pushing it.
That is crazy. You know what?
That's just me personally. It's just, I thought everything was just like, the story was good, visuals were good, everything I would want, and what's the issue?
Me and you, as DreamWorks fans, I feel like DreamWorks has done way better on storytelling.
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Okay, and this is not Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
It's
or
not.
Kung Fu Panda.
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is my number 2.
Kung Fu Panda, I'm going to say this. Kung Fu Panda is one of my favorite movies, and it's a DreamWorks movie.
I didn't like Kung Fu Panda for one reason.
Coming from a Kung Fu Panda fan and a DreamWorks fan, this doesn't reach Kung Fu Panda level.
Real quick, if Kung Fu Panda didn't include an actress that is literally in every single animated movie 5 times in a row, then I probably would have liked it a little bit more.
What was that to do with the
So you're not talking about the storyline, you're just talking about the actresses.
I personally think they did a really good job with everything in this movie. Right. It's no perfect one. I agree on that. I would say 14, 15 for me. All-time favorite movies. It would be like 14, 15.
Okay.
For me.
That is so crazy.
All-time?
I would probably put it 15. Just because there's that one issue. But just how everything was like organized. How everything was organized, the execution, the animation style, the humor. It kind of nailed everything for me. For me to put it on my top 15. It's on the bottom, but it is on the top 15.
Personally, I feel like where it ranks for me, like I gave it like a 3.5 stars on Letterboxd, but all time for my favorite movies, it's got to be like 200, top 200, because I've seen 200 better movies than that, but it's not terrible. Like top 200 is still pretty high out of all the movies made in the world, but
I think I gave it a 4.5. Right.
Okay.
And you would give it a 1.
You can't be serious. 200.
I'm being okay.
This movie is not better. You know, out of all the worst movies I've ever seen, this movie is like in the thousands of thousands. Like it wouldn't even. There's so many more movies better than this one. But you know what? We're not gonna hate because Pete Davidson. We're not gonna hate because Pete Davidson did his thing.
Invalid opinion. They just said anything is. Everything is better than
We have
Wish.
different tastes. So
Everything is better than Wish. No questions asked. So I'm going to do a little bit of a new thing this time, right? So obviously a 78% Rotten Tomatoes from professional critics and stuff. 86% audience score, though.
86%?
86% audience score.
Okay.
So what I want to do is I want to read through the top, audience score just to see what they say.
Okay.
And then we're going to discuss it, basically.
Alrighty.
Just to see if, we kind of agree. So the top 3 are all verified. So, these are all, main ones. So,
yeah.
So the top one says, why am I crying at the Dogman movie?
Well,
what was there to cry about?
There's a lot to cry about. If you were awake most of it.
I mean,
I'm not an
it
emotional
was
person.
cute, but it wasn't all that. So there was nothing to cry about. It was cute, but like the scene where Lil Petey got left alone and the Dogman.
That was okay.
It was sad,
it was sad, but I wouldn't
cry
cry over it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so I guess we're in a consensus. It's it was emotional, but it wasn't something to cry. What's a movie that we would cry over?
The Titanic.
Interstellar.
There you go, bingo. Titanic. What is it? Never Let Go, Jack.
When she took the fingers off.
All right.
That's a cry.
Second review. Right. My kids love the book series. They thought the movie was hilarious, sweet, and relatable.
I don't feel like I can give a review about that because I haven't seen the book series.
Yeah, I haven't seen the book series either.
Me neither, but I think it was a good intro to people who were never into it. So that's what I thought of it.
And I did research. Lil Petey's actually a character.
Okay.
In the Dogman universe.
Okay.
So I guess people probably saw that and are like, oh my gosh, they include everyone. So that's why I'm saying they did a good job with that. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Last review. Says, a funny, entertaining movie beloved by all ages. Jokes are straight, simple, and understood by all ages. A moderate runtime with a warm message of love and that people can change. I recommend it. Do you guys agree with that? All of these were 5 stars, by the way.
I mean, I think it was...
So,
yeah, if I can go first. I agree. I think it was decent. It was overall just a decent movie. Nothing special. I mean, if you want just a fun ha-ha movie, go ahead and watch it. But you're not going to get blown away. It's no Interstellar by any means.
Oh, it's no Interstellar. Yeah, we're not putting that in the same category.
Yeah.
No.
I wouldn't even put it near Toy Story, but it was decent. It's
the original
pretty good.
Toy Story?
And all the Toy Stories.
Ew.
It's decent.
Toy Story 3 was no.
I don't
know.
I just think it was decent. Overall, just decent.
Do you agree with that?
No. I feel like this is one of those movies you don't have to go to the movie theater to pay for. They could have put this on Peacock, and I would have been completely content.
I would have fought that
I would have been
hard.
completely content with it being on a streaming app and not having to pay money
Low-key,
for it.
I agree with that.
I'm not going to lie. This is a movie that I could have watched at home at midnight and thoroughly enjoyed before I fell asleep.
All right, you already know who's not going to be on the show next week. So, all right. Any final thoughts on Dogman before we wrap up for the day?
Average movie, 3.5 stars. Pretty good. Average.
4.5 stars. Pretty good on DreamWorks' part. It's a DreamWorks movie. I mean, they did make some horrible, horrible, horrible mistakes in the past, but this is not one of them. Not perfect by any means. I see Nia wincing and the corner in my eye over here. Not perfect by any means. Definitely watchable. Dogman is just a really funny character.
Yeah.
I would have watched this again. I probably will watch this 3 more times, to be honest with you. These 2 people are off the show next week.
It's a one and done top 10 for me.
And Nia, I know what you're going to say. I'll say it anyway.
1 out of 10 stars. I feel like this is a movie you can wait until it's on a streaming app to watch.
I do not agree.
I feel like I'm in the middle between y'all because it wasn't garbage, but it also wasn't what you make it up to be. It's just average. Like you said, if I saw it on a streaming service, I'd probably watch it, but I wouldn't give it any second thought.
If I saw it on a streaming service, I probably would have liked it more. I just feel like because I paid money for it, it's a 1 out of 10.
But it's still playing in theaters. Should you watch it in theaters? Still.
Just wait till it comes out on streaming. I ain't gonna lie.
Yep.
I completely disagree. I feel like this is something you should probably watch just based on the performances and the characters alone. Make your own decision for it, I would say. Mm-hmm. That would be my thing. If you want to see it in theaters, you can. I would say yes. They would say no. But other than that, that kind of wraps up this episode of Star Notes. So next week is going to be a Valentine's Day special. So
Lovey
stay
dovey.
tuned for that. Yeah. All right, you're actually off the show now. That wraps it up. Thank you guys for joining us. We will see you guys all this time next week. Same place, same time. See you later, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for agreeing with me.